Good morning, Corpus Christi, Coastal Bend, and listeners worldwide. Welcome on in to another edition of the Sunday Sports Rush on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. I'm your host, James Espinosa, joined alongside producer and co-host Aiden Ducker.
What's Gucci with it?
We're also joined this morning by Marcos Marroquin.
What's up, James? Glad to be back.
Hell yeah. We're glad to be back. We're live in studio. It's episode number 95. The countdown to 100 is getting closer and closer and closer. It's episode number 95. If you out there in the listening audience want to be a part of this show, you can. It's simple. Hit us up on the text line 361-882-5397. 361-882-5397. 5397. Send us a text. If you've never texted the show before and you want to do it right now. We love having new listeners. We love having new people interact with us. Hit us up on the text line. Let us know who you are. And yeah, get there. 361-882-5397. Coming up here in the first hour of the Sunday Sports Rush. At 9:50, we have WTF. OnlyFans has gotten a couple of teachers in trouble. And there's a video game out there that will literally kill you. We'll talk about that in WTF at 9:50. At 9:30, we talk some college football Saturday. Texas is not back. In fact, Texas sucks. Yesterday was pathetic. I'll give you my thoughts on Texas TCU coming up at 9:30. At 9:20, we dive into some Major League Baseball talk with Astros free agency talk. They made a couple of moves this week. We'll dissect everything Astros at 9:20. But right now, they are back. The Dallas Cowboys are back. It's a Cowboys game day here on News Talk KEYS, 3:30 p.m. Cowboys and Packers will be kicking off 2:30 p.m. right here on News Talk KEYS. We'll have pregame show. So make sure you tune in for that and be a part of that. We are the official Cowboy station here in the Coastal Bend. So, some Cowboys news from this past week, ladies and gentlemen. The big talk of the week was the courtship of Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
I would say the Odell storyline was a big headline in the NFL. I could have maybe saved this one for NFL headlines at 10 a.m., but since it concerns the Cowboys, I figured, hey, let's throw this into the Cowboys week that was.
Because we are home of the Dallas Cowboys.
That is right. We are home of the Cowboys, baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think that can be overstated enough. So I think Doug's pretty proud of us for that. Mm-hmm. So Jerry Jones was on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on Tuesday. Owner, general manager, Jerry Jones, right? And Jerry backed the Cowboys' current receiving core and said that adding Odell Beckham, quote, is someone we have all the appreciation in the world for. What he is as a competitor and know the Cowboys star on the helmet when he puts it on could look pretty good. So, Jerry's already saying, hey, that star in the helmet of Odell will look great. It'll look pretty good, according to Jerry Jones. On Monday, Mike McCarthy also had comments on Odell Beckham. McCarthy said, quote, Odell has always been a huge fan of Beckham, and former and current assistants on his staff have vouched for him. Of course, Beckham is rehabbing from a torn anterior cruciate ligament suffered in last season's Super Bowl while playing for the Rams. So Odell Beckham is out there, and the Cowboys are flirting very, very heavily with him. Question to the audience, do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys go after Odell Beckham and bring him into this offense to help Dak Prescott, to help CeeDee Lamb, to help Michael Gallup, Cooper, Pollard, etc.? Do you think Odell Beckham can be a game changer for the Dallas Cowboys?
Why not? I mean, the NFC is wide open. You know, the Eagles, under Jalen Hurts, they're a good team, but they haven't made it deep into the playoffs, at least with Jalen Hurts as their quarterback.
Yeah.
The Vikings with Kirk Cousins leading the division, leading the NFC North. I mean, come on. It's Kirk Cousins, for crying out loud. I mean, they're a good team. Maybe he's turned the wheel. Maybe he's turned a new leaf and, he's going to become better in the playoffs, but we don't know. The Bucs are down bad this year. I mean, they're not a good team. I'll just say that they'll win a bad division, and then you got the Seahawks with Geno Smith leading that division, the NFC West. This is a prime gold opportunity for the Cowboys to make a move to expand that offense and really, cement themselves as a contender in the NFC.
Yeah, and according to Adam Schefter, he's interested in the Cowboys, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Giants, and the 49ers. So those are all elite teams. He's looking to make a playoff run. The Cowboys are one of those teams. They look good, but their offense has struggled at times. You had Cooper Rush in there for a couple weeks. The defense has been playing great, but the offense, the passing game hasn't really been there all year. Obviously, like I said, Cooper Rush is there, but it's been inconsistent.
And Marcos, you bring up a great point. You're talking about the Cowboys' passing offense. The Cowboys currently have the 25th ranked passing offense, and they have yet to have a receiver have a 100-yard game this season. Just think about that. Cowboys have yet to have one single receiver go over 100 yards. The Cowboys have CeeDee Lamb. And I get it. A lot of that was Cooper Rush in that stretch, and Dak's only been back for 2 games. But if you can add Odell Beckham, in my opinion, I agree with Aiden. I agree with you, Marcos, that why not? The NFC is there. It's crazy to even say that because typically you have 1 or 2 dominant NFC teams like the Packers, like the Bucks of the past, etc. But right now, the Eagles are undefeated. I mean, yeah, they're undefeated. They're great. They are what they are. Their record says what they are. But I don't think the Eagles as a dominating type of team. They got past the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. That's okay. That was expected. And they did some work against the Cowboys in that aspect. But if the Cowboys can bring in Odell, that just takes some pressure off of Lamb. It takes pressure off of Gallup. And Odell can be that slot receiver that gets yards over the middle, like the way we saw him do it with the Rams last year.
And he proved that with what he did with the Rams last season, that he's not a locker room issue like he was early in his career.
He was a key cog for the Rams.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people kind of forget that. Everybody thinks it's Cooper Kupp, which, of course, all-pro wide receiver, we know what Cooper Kupp is. But when the Rams added Odell Beckham, it really took their offense up to another notch. And I think that can happen for the Cowboys if they should pursue Odell Beckham. 361-882-5397. Should the Cowboys go after Odell Beckham? That is my question to the listening audience. So, like you mentioned, Odell said he's interested in the Cowboys, Bills, Chiefs, Giants, and 49ers. I think we could strike the Giants off the list. Yeah. I don't think he's going to go back to New York.
Well, I know he's been liking and retweeting a lot of stuff of the Giants players and everything, and I have heard some reports that he'd like to go back to New York, but I can't see Daniel Jones being the selling point at quarterback.
Yeah,
if you're a star wide receiver, I know he's coming off of an injury, but you've seen him be the best receiver in the league at some points in his career. And that's big time. And you don't want to go to a Daniel Jones when you could go to a Dak Prescott, when you could go to a Patrick Mahomes, and you could go to a Josh Allen.
Exactly. No, those are great points right there.
This is a guy, sure, he's coming off of an injury, but in that Super Bowl, he probably would have won Super Bowl MVP.
A lot of people kind of forget that he was having a pretty good game before he got hurt.
He had over 50 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
In the second quarter, whenever he got hurt.
Yeah. I mean, he was a key cog. The Rams still ended up winning the Super Bowl either way, but still, his contributions to that Rams team can't go unnoticed. And I think that's why it's exciting times right now for the Cowboys. I would say, based on what I'm seeing out of Odell on, all the social media platforms, I have a big feeling it's going to come down to Cowboys or 49ers. For some reason, I think the 49ers are going to be in the mix. I don't know if he wants to go to Buffalo with the cold weather, all that stuff. The Chiefs could be interesting. Of course, who wouldn't want to play with Patrick Mahomes? But I just got a feeling in the end it's going to be Cowboys and 49ers as those kind of top 2 teams. 49ers, of course, with a great coaching staff with Shanahan and company. They got an amazing offense. Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. Imagine adding Odell Beckham to that offense. That'd be pretty scary right there. And the 49ers, of course, can make a run. We saw them make a run last year, going all the way to the NFC title game. So the Cowboys have been recruiting, guys. Zeke, Micah Parsons has been out there on Twitter. Micah Parsons tweeted at OBJ. Here's a tweet from Micah Parsons on November the 8th, earlier this week. Micah Parsons said, "Man, OBJ, talk to me!" 2 exclamation marks. OBJ, let's do this S. So there's a lot of Cowboys out there, CeeDee Lamb included, Even Dak has spoken up saying that, of course, they would love to add someone like Odell. So you have all the Cowboys' main cogs, their main stars, actively recruiting Odell Beckham. And that's something as a Cowboys fan that I have honestly never really seen before. You know, Cowboys usually are a little bit tight-lipped when it comes to that. Jerry Jones is the one that does most of the recruiting and talking, which he did already earlier this week. But to see the star players of the Cowboys do that, to me, you know, there's a lot. When there's smoke, there's fire, so to speak. And there's definitely some fire with Odell Beckham. So if you would like Odell Beckham on the Cowboys, hit us up on the text line, 361-882-5397. Some quick injuries to get to. We have a couple minutes left in this segment. Zeke is questionable for today's game against the Packers. His knee is still bothering him. He's going to be a game-time decision for the Cowboys. Linebacker Anthony Barr is out for today's game against the Packers. He hurt his hamstring against the Bears. And these next 2 weeks will be vital for the Cowboys. You got your nemesis, Aaron Rodgers, in Green Bay. And then next week, you're on the road against the Vikings team with one loss, who have been rolling, who made a comeback win last week against the Commanders. I mean, these next 2 weeks, very pivotal for the Cowboys in terms of setting themselves apart in the NFC. We got some Dak audio real quick. We'll play that, and then we'll hit the break shortly after. Here's Dak Prescott. He's talking about what this game means for the Dallas Cowboys heading into Green Bay.
But not a lot has to be said about this week. We know what our coach means to us. We know how long he was up there. We know how special this, I guess you can say, going back is going to be for him. But more importantly, it's about this team, what we've got building, where we're going, and getting this win.
And that's another storyline that we'll dive into later on in the show. Mike McCarthy returning to Lambeau Field for the first time since he was fired by the Green Bay Packers. And it's been an emotional week for Mike McCarthy. You know, a lot of people don't realize this, but Mike McCarthy is the second longest tenured head coach in Green Bay's Packers history. Was up there for 12 years, the only other head coach in the history of the Green Bay Packers that coached that team longer than Mike McCarthy was Curly Lambeau. Mike McCarthy brought them a Super Bowl in Green Bay with the help of Aaron Rodgers, of course. It was a tandem effort. But still, you know, it means a lot for Mike McCarthy to go up there, and I got a feeling that this Cowboys team is going to be motivated to get a win for their head coach.
You think Green Bay is going to play like a video tribute? I think so.
I think so, man. Like I just said, he was the second longest tenured head coach in the history of that franchise and brought them a Super Bowl. I mean, I think they will, despite how everything ended in Green Bay with the animosity with Aaron Rodgers and all that stuff. Yeah, I think they will give a little tribute to Mike McCarthy. Even Aaron Rodgers had some nice things to say about Mike McCarthy this past week. He said that Aaron Rodgers, just paraphrasing, said pretty much that as the years have gone by, that he's grown a greater appreciation for the time he had with Mike McCarthy.
Well, he for sure now with how bad the Packers have been playing.
Well, I mean, fate is
that team's a mess.
Like even when there was a couple years the Packers missed the playoffs, but they were still scoring points. They're just because their defenses kind of fell down a little bit.
Yeah,
but man.
So I feel you, man. 361-882-5397. Give us your thoughts on Odell Beckham possibly going to the Cowboys, and send us in your Cowboys and Packers predictions. We'll get them read on the show. Hit us up on the text line, 361-882-5397. Coming up next, we'll take some texts, we'll take some reactions, and then we'll dive into some Astros free agency talk. It's Cowboys Game Day on the Sports Rush. Keep it locked. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 95. It's James Espinosa, Aiden Ducker, and Marcos Marroquin with you till 11 a.m. It's Cowboys Game Day. Cowboys and Packers going down at 3:30 p.m. right here on these airwaves. 2:30 p.m. pregame show right here on News Talk KEYS. We were talking Cowboys in the last segment. Cowboys, Packers, Mike McCarthy, what that means to them. We were talking Cowboys against or trying to sign Odell Beckham Jr., but I want to go to the text line real quickly because we got a couple of guys in here who got their takes in, and we appreciate y'all so much. 361-882-5397. George D is in here. Shout out to George for getting in this morning. George says, happy 95, guys. You all get better with age. My prediction for the Dallas Cowboys today is not numbers, but one word, blowout. By tonight, they are 7-2. So George predicting a Cowboys blowout tonight against the Green Bay Packers. Shout out to George. We appreciate you, George, for getting in. Walt is in here. I don't think we've ever had Walt text into our show, so we appreciate you, Walt, for getting in here this morning.
Walt?
Yeah, Walt. W-A-L-T. Walt.
Jesse, we must do the radio show right now, Jesse. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. Thank you, Walt, for getting in. We were talking about Odell Beckham to the Cowboys and how the Cowboys are recruiting him very hardly, and I made a statement saying I've never seen this with the Cowboys before. Well, Walt has this to say in response to my comment. Walt says, quote, "You're too young. Dallas chased Deion Sanders hard." That is true. Yes, they did chase Deion Sanders pretty hard back then, 94, 95. I get it, Walt. I am maybe a little bit too young to remember that because when the Cowboys were chasing him, Walt, I was 5 years old. So, yeah, maybe I was a little bit too young. I'm only 33 right now, but my sports consciousness in terms of Cowboys football didn't really kick in until the 1999 season. That's when I really started following the Cowboys religiously, so to speak.
In the what season?
1999.
Yeah, so you were too young to remember when the Cowboys used to win Super Bowls.
I remember my mom and dad being at Cowboys Super Bowl parties, but I don't remember anything about the Cowboys ever winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
My sports consciousness, like when I came,
really a playoff game in general.
yeah, like whenever my sports consciousness kicked in, it was 1999 Dallas Cowboys. I remember that vividly. Watching that season as a 9-year-old on the verge of being 10 years old. So, Walt, we appreciate you getting in. Yeah, they did chase Deion pretty hard, and you're right about that. I cannot deny that. I guess in terms of current Cowboy, this generation of Cowboy from maybe 2005 on, I can't remember another time where they've gone so hard after somebody and where main players were actively speaking out in the media that they want Odell Beckham. So, there we go. We appreciate y'all guys getting in. 361-882-5397. Get your takes in this morning on the text line. We're going to jump into, real quickly, just some Major League Baseball talk because the season is officially over. Free agency is out there. Players are already opting into free agency. And with the Astros in particular, they made a couple of moves this past week. Okay. So Dusty Baker is going to return for the 2023 season. Dusty Baker will have a chance to do it again. He signed a 1-year contract with the Astros for the 2023 season. Dusty Baker said this on Wednesday at the news conference, quote, "How many times in your life do you say something and then have the opportunity to fulfill it? I wasn't just talking, I meant what I said. I love keeping my word, so hey man, we've got a chance to win back-to-back and this is what I'd like to do." So Dusty coming back in hopes of winning back-to-back World Series with the Astros. Are we happy about this, gentlemen? Aiden?
I'm very happy. There's no better person I would like, managing the Astros than Dusty Baker. So I'm very happy about this.
What about you, Marcos? What are your thoughts?
You should be happy. I mean, he's a great manager. He's a little old.
He's 73 years old.
He's a little bit stuck in his ways at times, but I know he has a good staff around him that keeps him level, and he's a great baseball mind. So if you're an Astros fan, you should be happy about this.
And
I mean, just the fact in the final play of the game in Game 6, he was still writing down like the scorecard and whatnot, and just taking notes. Like
he made a lot of tough decisions.
He was still doing his job at that moment. And Jim Crane, man. I know you got to...
Yeah, we're going to get to that note here real quickly. Yeah. One more thing on Dusty Baker. With the Astros in 3 seasons, Dusty Baker has 3 ALCS appearances, 2 AL pennants, 1 World Series win. He has a combined regular season record of 230 and 154 with the Astros. And in the postseason with the Astros, he's 28 and 14 and has the best winning percentage in postseason history with the Astros. So Dusty Baker, enough said right there. He's coming back for 1 more year. A guy who is not coming back to the Astros is general manager James Click. He was let go by the Astros. According to reports out there, Jim Crane, the owner of the Astros, offered a 1-year extension for James Click. James Click was offered the 1-year contract and a raise from his $1 million salary on Monday, but he turned it down in pursuit of a longer contract and was dismissed Friday after publicly airing his grievances at the general manager's meetings that they had in Vegas. So the Astros announced he will not be back. The Astros are going to need a general manager now. And, you know, I never really had any issues with how James Click handled the team. I thought James Click was an aggressive GM. I thought he was a GM that made some pivotal moves for the Astros. I mean, let's talk about last summer, whenever the Astros made that deal with the Mariners. Remember that, Aiden? When the Astros made the deal with the Mariners and they brought in Montero and they brought in Kendall Graveman for that postseason run? Well, Montero's still around. Graveman's not, but Montero's been a key cog in that bullpen. And, you know, James Click being gone, it kind of sucks, but honestly, there was already rumblings out there that him and Jim Crane did not get along and that their ideologies didn't necessarily see eye to eye. So he's gone. He's out.
And speaking of Montero, big news for the Astros. Again, they just re-signed him to a 3-year extension.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And he was a huge arm in the bullpen for them in the World Series.
You know what's funny is that people outside the Astros, like, they're like, why would they do this? But real Astros fans know that this was kind of inevitable.
If you watch the games this year, he was a stud in their bullpen.
No, I'm talking about James Click.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Montero is back, 3 years, $34.5 million deal, according to Jeff Passan of ESPN. Is it Passan?
I've liked him. I'm starting to like him more and more now. It seems like it's Rosenthal I can't stand.
Really?
Like, he just wrote like another like, oh, the Astros firing Jim Crane puts a little stain on this world.
Man, shut
I hate
up.
Ken Rosenthal. Just, you know.
Banners hang forever, biatch. There's no stain on that banner. What are you talking about? World Series champs.
Yeah, Astros fans are so happy. It's like, and there's people
I'm still celebrating.
There's people comparing Jim Crane to Jerry Jones. No, he isn't. He's Steinbrenner. If there's a comparison,
Okay.
George Steinbrenner.
Let me just say this, because I don't want Jim Crane to get into that mindset like a Jerry Jones, thinking, I put this team together. I'm the guy in charge. I don't want that to happen. I don't want him to go down that Jerry Jones road. If he were to become a Steinbrenner, I wouldn't be upset at that, because George Steinbrenner teams, I mean, we saw what happened with the Yankees. He expected the best, and he got rid of people who he felt weren't contributing enough to the overall grand scheme of winning championships.
He seems like a very demanding owner, and the Astros have been defranchised since he's taken over ownership, man.
Another note for the Astros here. Justin Verlander has officially opted out of his contract. He could have stayed for $25 million in 2023, but Justin Verlander is officially a free agent.
Come back, please.
You know, if he doesn't come back, the Astros will still be deep. You got McCullers, Valdez, Javier, Garcia, Urquidy, and Brown as potential starting pitchers. So I would love Verlander to come back, don't get me wrong. But there are going to be teams out there like the Rangers, like the Yankees, like the Red Sox, who are going to inquire about Justin Verlander's services. And that's just what's going to happen when you have a Hall of Fame pitcher in the free agent market.
Have they announced Cy Young winners yet?
No, they haven't announced any
He will
awards.
likely win it.
So there we go. Just some quick Astros nuggets for you right there. All right. If you have anything to say on the text line, hit us up, 361-882-5397. We're still taking your Packers and Cowboys predictions. Who wins today, Cowboys or Packers? We're taking those for the entire show. But coming up next, the Longhorns suck once again. We'll talk Texas football. We'll talk college football. Keep it locked. You're listening to the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back. It's the Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 95. James Espinosa, Aiden Ducker, and Marcos Matakin with you till 11 a.m. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll have WTF, everyone's favorite segment. Bound to get crazy in WTF, so just prepare your ears for that. Shout out to Nucky's Cocktail Bar, 1406 North 14th Street in Kingsville, Texas. It's your spot to go and watch all the NFL action today. Fresh, handcrafted cocktails. My favorite one that they make is the Old Fashioned. My God, so sweet, so delicious. They have your favorite Texas craft beer on draft and domestics as well. Also, take advantage of those mouth-watering wings. Nucky's Cocktail Bar, 1406 North 14th Street. Your spot to watch NFL today with all-day happy hour. Head on down there and let them know that the Sunday Sports Rush sent you. All right. We're rolling on here. Episode number 95. We're talking Cowboys and Packers. We're talking predictions. And we got another prediction that rolled in over the break on our text line, 361 882-5397, 361-882-5397. This one comes from Matt. Matt is in here. Matt says, your favorite OG, I am ESPN Packer fan, Matt M. Effin Matney, with exclamation points. Y'all go ahead and laugh it up, fellas. Can't ever count AR-12 out. He plays his best when everyone doubts him. Plus, he always plays Dallas well. And after we win today, Odell Beckham to Green Bay. Just watch. So Packer fan Matt is in here saying we need to watch our mouths this morning and put some respect on the Packers.
I kind of agree with you, Matt. I don't think I was hating on the Packers too much personally. I just think that their organization is a mess. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And I think there could be an argument made for the most talented quarterback of all time.
Y'all need to get off that bong. You know what's gonna happen? Y'all remember the 2016 regular season game where the Cowboys went up to Lambeau and blew them out?
Yes. In Dak's rookie year?
Yeah.
You think that's going to happen today?
I mean, well, we
we'll make
kinda
our
have to
predictions
preview it
later on.
but
Yeah, we'll make our predictions later on.
I think this is audio of Matt,
I smoked a ton of weed in the 90s.
probably, right? Yeah.
Maybe. I'm
What
not
that
sure.
take?
We love you, Matt. Thanks
Yeah.
for texting in.
Yeah, we love our listeners. Thanks
They
for
lost to
texting
the Lions. I've lost faith in the Packers after losing to the Lions.
And they looked bad last week. And Aaron Rodgers looked horrible last week. We cannot ignore the facts that have been presented in front of us.
Let me hit that.
Matt also goes on to say, back against the wall, lose, season over, win, there's a chance. Dallas will be fine even with the L. AR-12 will be magical versus Dallas. Look, the Packers have a lot to play for today, all right? I mean, like you said, if they lose, it's practically over. They don't have no shot at a wild card. Win, there's a slight chance. So maybe Green Bay goes into this game with that attitude of, hey, this is our do-or-die game. We got to give it everything right here against Dallas.
The Packers just have no offensive weapons outside of Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
They
and
really
they don't
don't.
use. The problem is, LaFleur's becoming a mid coach now.
Well-
they don't use AJ Dillon enough. And then on defense, the Packers just lost Rashawn Gary, I believe.
The Packers are injured. Tons of injuries on the
They're
Packers.
so hurt.
So
Their offensive line has been so banged up this year.
we'll talk some more Cowboys and Packers later on in the show when we officially preview the game at 10:20. If you have any thoughts, hit us up on the text line. Who wins today's game, Cowboys or Packers? 361-882-5397. Let's go ahead and dive into some college football talk because yesterday was a full slate of college football games. And the most interesting game of the day, to be honest with you, I'm looking at all the scores right here from the top 10. There was two very interesting games. One that involves us directly as the home of the Longhorns. The Longhorns fall to TCU 17-10. The Longhorns came into this game ranked number 18. TCU ranked number 4 in the playoffs. TCU, if the season ended today, would be in the playoffs. The Longhorns, man, yesterday was just absolutely ugly for the Texas Longhorns. They were shut out at the half. They just weren't able to move the ball at all against TCU. And my God, man, I don't even know what to say about this game other than the fact that I am so disappointed in Steve Sarkisian in the way he has this offense performing. I am so disappointed in the young quarterback in Quinn Ewers, who hasn't looked right in about a month. He hasn't looked good at all. And I get it. He's a freshman. I get it. Last night was only his 7th game started. But you came in as a 5-star, number 1 overall, best recruit ever, and he's not playing like it. Last night, Quinn was 17 of 35, 171 yards, 1 interception.
Hasn't it looked like multiple times this year that the moment is just too big for him?
And you know what? That's a fair assessment. Yeah, I think it has. I think last night was one of the biggest moments he had, going up against a top 4 team in TCU in Austin.
With the chance to beat a state rival.
Yeah.
And ruin their playoff chances, just ruin their season completely. And it looked like the moment was too big for him.
You're right. And it sucks to say, but man, Texas was horrendous last night, and they couldn't get Bijan Robinson going. Can somebody guess how many yards Bijan Robinson had last night?
The last stat line I saw was 13 carries, 22 yards.
Can you guess how many yards he had?
I can't. I don't remember.
12 carries, 29 yards.
Oh, okay.
12 carries, 29 yards for Bijan Robinson, averaged 2.4 yards per carry. Only 3 receivers last night caught a ball. That's it. Just 3 receivers caught a football last night. And Bijan Robinson had 29 yards. And there was a moment in the game. It's 17-3. Texas has the ball. They're down on the TCU 5. So it's 1st and goal from the 5. Pass incomplete. Ewers run for a loss. Ewers pass incomplete. They go for it on 4th down. Ewers pass incomplete. They didn't get the ball to Bijan Robinson at all in the most crucial moment of the game when you absolutely needed a freaking score. And you don't get the ball in the number 5's hands? That is coaching malpractice, Steve Sarkisian. What are you doing? Why are you ignoring your freaking all-pro running back? Can somebody help me?
There's all pros?
All conference, all American. You know what the hell I meant.
I mean, if you're a Longhorns fans, were you really that invested in this game?
Yes, I was, because Texas, if they would have won this game, they would have had a direct path to the Big 12 championship game. They would have controlled their own destiny. Now they don't. And now TCU with the win, credit to them, credit to Sonny Dykes for actually being a good coach. Now they're already in the Big 12 championship game.
It sounds like you felt like UT was going to win this game.
I did.
Well,
I did feel like it.
Like Cowboys fans, lower your expectations. The heartbreak won't feel as bad. You let that you expected more than you should have, because I knew TCU was going to beat Texas. This game really wasn't even that close. It wasn't for that
scoop
goof,
and score.
That goof fumble.
Hey, check this out. So Texas got a scoop and score touchdown, the only touchdown they scored all night, and the defense did it. And it was Jedi Barron who got the scoop and score. Here's the audio. Just go ahead and play it.
I think it's J-Day.
Or whatever. J-Day Barron.
Against Texas Tech, they've played solid tonight, although Duggan just drops the ball. It's scooped up by the Longhorns. Jedi Barron with a scoop and score. A shocking play, and Texas still has life. Wow.
So that happened, and I'm thinking, oh my God, Texas has a chance. Texas has a chance. TCU gets the ball. They get like 3 first downs in a row, and they clock it out. And that's it.
And even that scoop and score, it wasn't forced by the defense. The quarterback just dropped it like on his own read.
It was Max Duggan who dropped it.
So this game wasn't even that close, to be honest with you.
Texas was held to less than 200 yards of total offense. Absolutely pathetic. This was the worst Longhorns rushing performance since a 26-carry, 9-yard outing in a 2017 loss to TCU. It was the last time the Texas offense failed to break 200 total yards in a game was 2015 against Notre Dame. Just historically bad. And then here's Steve Sarkisian, a quote from Steve Sarkisian after the game. Quote, offensively, 0 rhythm in the game. We cannot get out of our own way, which is extremely frustrating. Nah, you think? You think? Stevie boy in Austin, you think it's frustrating? It is frustrating.
And you know what, man? Next year, the quarterback competition is going to be very interesting now.
It will.
It will.
All right.
Let's see if Quinn finishes out the year strong.
This, to me, it looks like this is a transfer.
I mean, it depends if Arch Manning, but we're looking too far ahead. I'm just saying, ever since that shoulder injury, it doesn't seem Quinn Ewers has been a little inconsistent.
You're right. That clavicle injury, I don't know, man. It's tough out there for a Texas fan right now. 361-882-5397. What are your thoughts on Texas? What are your thoughts on Sark? What are your thoughts on Quinn Ewers?
To me,
Let us know.
I mean, I want to like Sark, and you want him to succeed, but there's just too many moments where he just doesn't win the close games enough like he should.
You're right, and I'm starting to lose trust in Sark.
Like it happened in Washington too. Like there was games that
happened at USC.
Yeah, I mean, great coordinator. Don't get me wrong, but like as as the head coach, and when the decisions fall on his plate, it just doesn't work out sometimes, man.
Here, going down the top 10, I'm sad, but here's the top 10. Georgia beat Mississippi State 45-19.
Georgia's probably going to go back-to-back. I'm very confident in that now.
Number 2, Ohio State beat Indiana 56-14. Number 3, Michigan beat Nebraska 34-3. Number 5, Tennessee beat Missouri 66-24. Your Ducks, number 6, lost to Washington 37-34. They Oregoned last night.
It happens every year, man. They Oregoned it, and that's why I always lower my expectations because I know there's one game where it comes every year, so I'm just used to it at this point.
So they're probably out of the playoff run with 2 losses.
They're out.
Number 7, LSU defeats Arkansas 13-10 in a hard-fought battle up in Arkansas. I saw a lot of that game. It was pretty good. Number 9, Alabama squeaks by number 11, Ole Miss 30-24.
I think Lane Kiffin threw that game with this play calling. It was so bad. These random QB draws that weren't working at all.
Yeah, you're right. You're
dumb.
right. And number 10, Clemson 31, Louisville 16. That is your top 10 right there. Blowout city, pretty much, except for a couple of games. All the top 5 teams won by double digits or more. And that was your college football Saturday. Texas sucks.
Except for TCU, correct?
Oh, yeah, well, TCU won. Number 4, TCU won, of course. Give them their credit. Give Sonny Dykes his credit. Give that team their credit. They're playing outstanding, and they have a legitimate chance to be in the college football playoff. They control their own destiny. Going to the Big 12 title game, they finish undefeated. I think they could get in. We'll see what happens. It's in their hands now. So that's college football talk. That wraps it up. Texas, I don't know. Big thumbs down to Texas. I'm upset this morning. If you're upset about Texas, let us know on the text line. 361-882-5397. Coming up next, we take a break from the sports and we dive into WTF. OnlyFans has gotten some teachers in trouble and a video game that will kill you in real life. We talk that and more. WTF after the break. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 95. James Espinosa, Aiden Ducker, and Marcos Mataquin hanging out with you till 11 a.m. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll dive into the latest NFL headlines. We'll also take a peek at Bucks and Seahawks happening in Germany as we speak. Real quickly, War Eagle's in here on Twitter. He has a Texas take. War Eagle says, "Can I say every time our Longhorns have me believing they are back, this happens?" And he sends a gif of Charlie Brown getting the football pulled from him by Lucy, but it's War Eagle's face superimposed on Charlie Brown's face and War Eagle smoking a cigarette. So I love the creativity right there, War Eagle. You're a badass. War Eagle also has to say, "Gotta admit, was pretty excited to see you tweet about Cadillac Williams last night. I did send a tweet out about Auburn interim head coach Cadillac Williams. They got a big win over A&M. A&M also sucks. They've lost 7 in a row. First time since 1975. They're just tragic right now.
Probably the worst A&M season in their school history. Given the expectations, number one recruiting class. I know. I mean,
horrible.
They already have one decommit. Is that stud going to transfer, Evan Stewart?
Who knows, man? But they're in a bad shape. But Cadillac Williams,
you know, teams are they're ripening. They're just ready to pick
to pounce. Yeah, you're right. And Cadillac Williams, who was a former running back with Auburn, in case y'all guys forgot about that, interim head coach, had a pretty positive note last night, saying, pretty much, hey, it's okay to fail. We're going to pick our kids up whenever they fail. That's what we do as coaches. I really liked that message last night. So shout out to Cadillac Williams and Auburn for getting that win. That was pretty awesome to see. All right, it's time to transition to WTF. Let's do it.
Okay, hold on. That was in a different page.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's always good to talk while I'm doing this, so that way.
WTF. Coming up.
Okay, now it's here.
What the F-bomb is going on?
Yeah, that's what the F I'm talking about.
What the is that? Who are you?
What is wrong with you?
2 teachers in Arizona lost their jobs after students found their OnlyFans account that had featured a video made in a classroom, according to news reports. Middle school science teacher Samantha Peer, who made online pornography under the alias Chloe Carter, and her husband Dylan Peer were former employees of the Lake Havasu United School District in Arizona. According to the newspaper, middle school students found explicit content made on the Peer's OnlyFans account and began circulating it amongst themselves in the school. although it was not known how the students found the content in the first place. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. How do you
Come
think
on.
they found the content?
Stop.
Ooh.
You know damn
Come
well how they
on.
found that content.
Let's go. In a video statement made Friday, Samantha Peer, the alleged pornography teacher, said she and her husband began filming the explicit content because their teacher salaries were no longer enough to support their families. Before turning to adult content, she became an advisor for several clubs and was going to coach the softball team in the spring to pick up extra stipends.
Okay, let me get my.
Does she have a fair point here?
Wait, I have a lot to say.
Okay,
go ahead, Marcos.
No, yeah, I mean,
Marcos, go ahead.
Who wants to jump in on this one?
Oh, I didn't. You got it.
Okay, I got it.
don't-
Okay,
yeah.
so let me give the duck take on this because I am an expert in stuff like this. So
Indeed.
there's only one thing I won't defend is that they were filming it in a classroom. If they weren't in the classroom, to me it's fair game. What they do in the privacy of if they were doing this in their home, it's fair. It's fair game and whatnot. And also, this is a message to all the politicians out there that teachers deserve to be paid more. So I think they're sending a positive message out there.
Wow.
In regards to this. So you know what, man? I'm not too upset. It's just that I can't defend them doing it in the school because that's
In a middle school classroom.
Yeah, you can't defend that part, right? So
No, you can't. No, that's a really.
even if they were private and there weren't any kids.
Oh, they were private.
I know, but still, like, they should have been smarter about the classroom and all that.
They're both teachers?
So they
Yeah.
they earned their the firing was how do you
Justified.
It was justified, yeah, but still. It's
so-
a positive message. Politicians, pay your teachers more.
This teacher, Samantha Peer, she has another statement here. She said, quote from Samantha Peer, the pornography teacher. She said, I chose an anonymous name as well as blocking the entire state of Arizona on OnlyFans so it wasn't accessible to anybody living in the state, she said. Peer admitted that she made an explicit video in a school classroom and advertised it, but she said it was done after school hours on the weekend with no students present. Despite her efforts, the content eventually became public knowledge. So yeah, that's just tough.
Yeah, like I said, I think she would have been
That's
fine.
tough.
She would have been fine. Well, maybe not, but in the but in the classroom, that's where
Let's look up.
she shot herself in the foot.
Let's
there.
look up Samantha Peer. I want to see.
She's all right.
I need some evidence here. Okay.
She's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Maybe
So-
her husband's a selling point.
Wow, Marcos.
Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe Johnny Sins-esque.
We're
okay.
exclusive.
All right, I think
inclusive
we've said
show.
enough about this.
Yeah, we've said enough.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
I'm not even gonna play the Sounders.
Okay.
I'm not.
Our next story in WTF. There's a video game that was created out there. It's a virtual reality game. If you die in this VR game, you die in real life. Yes, that is true. The first ever killer virtual reality headset is here. Palmer Luckey, a leader in virtual reality and the founder of Oculus, the dude founded Oculus, better known as part of Facebook's Meta, created a VR headset that will actually kill the user if they die in the game. Players put on a new Nevgear virtual reality headset and open the game called Sword Art Online, which is based on Japanese anime. The players must fight their way through a 100-floor dungeon to escape a mad scientist's virtual world. The device is connected to 3 explosive charge modules above the screen that are aimed at the player's forehead. Should the player die in the game, the microwave emitter would go off, obliterating the human's head.
So apparently he just made it for himself or something like that. Like, this isn't gonna be sold to the public.
But
It's just the fact that it's out
Why?
there. Like, I am not gonna buy. I thought about buying a VR, right?
yeah,
I'm not anymore.
why not? You don't like VR?
I would have, but now I'm gonna think like my head's gonna explode.
Do you think there's people out there crazy enough that would try this?
And you say he's part of Facebook's Meta, right?
Yes.
Or so he's involved with Zuckerberg. You
Yes.
know that photo of Zuckerberg and all his Facebook people in his eye, all their eyes are dead and whatnot. They look at
Looks weird, bro. Zuckerberg is not human. That guy
They are inhuman.
I mean, you want to talk about conspiracies and WTF and all that stuff. That dude is lizard or something. I don't know. That guy's weird, bro. Looks a little reptilian to me, if you ask me.
Exactly.
Zuckerberg, he just doesn't look right.
So why would I? I'm not. There was this horrible movie I saw. I forgot what it's called, but there was a concept like that where they played this horror game and they got murdered in real life.
Well, it's also the concept of an episode of Black Mirror.
Oh, yeah.
This is like literally Black Mirror type of stuff in real life now. Let me ask you a question. Let's say one of the famous YouTubers out there, one of the famous Twitch streamers out there, like Chiz, for example. You like Chiz.
I like Chiz. Let's say Markiplier. He's the popular for Five Nights at Freddy's. Let's say Markiplier.
Okay, one of those guys. And they got their hands on this. Do you think they would try and play it and get like the most views ever?
No. Only somebody who's lost passion for living on this world would probably play that game.
Oh man, come on.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, why would you make
the ultimate
this?
thrill is to beat the game and survive.
I know, but why would you risk yourself?
Marcos, your thoughts? You're a little dumbfounded over there.
Personally. I like living. It's pretty nice out there.
Living's pretty cool.
Yeah. If you really just like want to have the thrill of beating the game, like the game is your life, so you're doing great right now. Just keep living.
The Oculus founder, is there something wrong with him? We need to talk to him and see if he's doing okay.
No, Oculus is fun. This game's just weird.
No, but he's the founder, right? Or he's the one
he's the one that founded
what's his name?
Oculus. Palmer Luckey.
Palmer Luckey. Let's have a talk, bro.
Yeah, you need to go sit down somewhere, have a talk.
Who
take
tested
a seat out.
it?
I don't know.
Probably they had like dummy bots testing.
Yeah,
or something like
they
that.
would have to have dummies or maybe chimpanzees. You know how these people are with animal cruelty. So there we go. That's WTF. Teachers having fun on OnlyFans, and a guy creates a VR headset that could literally kill you if you do not beat the game. Absolute insanity in WTF. I had another WTF story that I was going to get to, but nah. This one's a little bit too much. So I'll probably table that one for another time. But all right, that ends WTF, and the Sunday Sports Rush will roll on. We're going to check in on Seahawks and Buccaneers out in Germany coming up next. We got NFL headlines. You're listening to the Sunday Sports Rush, News Talk KEYS. Good morning, Corpus Christi, Coastal Bend, and listeners worldwide. Welcome on in to hour number 2 of the Sunday Sports Rush. It is episode number 95. I am your host, James Espinosa, joined alongside Aiden Ducker and Marcos Matakin. We're with you till 11 a.m. Yes, you do, Aiden. You are the Cougar Slayer of Corpus Christi. I will say that. I'll give you your props. I'll give you your due. Slaying them Cougies.
I want to go that far.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
It's usually outside of Corpus, though.
Oh, yeah. He loves to play in Houston, apparently. We're with you till 11 a.m. 361-882-5397 is the number to get your text in here. You have anything to say about sports, get it in. We want you to be a part of this show. We've already had a few people text in this morning. We appreciate them. We appreciate y'all listening wherever you might be on this Sunday morning. It's Cowboys and Packers game day. So if you have a prediction about Cowboys and Packers, make sure you get that into the text line, 361-882-5397.
Breaking news.
All right. Yeah, breaking news. Aiden, what's going on?
Yeah, breaking news. I don't think we mentioned this on air. It's happened a short while ago. Astros bench coach Joe Espada will return to Houston in 2023 with a new contract.
Yes, sir.
Joe Espada's contract had expired after the World Series. Folks around the Astros have talked about Espada's importance to Dusty Baker's coaching staff, so no surprise to see him return.
I like it. That's a great move right there for Houston.
And you know what? And it seems like I think he's the guy after Dusty Baker calls it quits, man.
I wonder if, because he was rumored.
I feel like, Jim Cray, as hard as he is, I feel like he holds him in high regard. So I feel like he's in line for that job.
I feel that he's head coach in waiting, like pretty much. He's manager in waiting, and he had a couple of opportunities. I know he interviewed with the White Sox. That was a job that he was a finalist for. Yeah, man, it's good to see him stick around, and more than likely be the manager after Dusty Baker retires, so that's good to hear. Good breaking news right there, Aiden. Way to use that sounder.
Yeah, I mean, we had to use it.
We had to. It was appropriate. I like that a lot. So there we go.
And also, I guess another breaking news, the Seahawks are selling.
Yeah, let's talk some NFL. It is NFL headlines right now on the Sunday Sports Rush, and I have the Seahawks and Tampa Bay game right in front of me. And we're in the third quarter. There's 12 minutes left in the third quarter, and it's Tampa Bay 14, Seattle 0. So
From the sounds of it, that game stinks.
yeah, it doesn't,
And
doesn't
knowing
seem
this
like
Bucs
it's going
team,
well.
that's all the points you're going to score this game, and the Seahawks are not even going to score above 10.
Oh, that's tragic because we made some picks off air for NFL Pick'em coming up at 10:30, and every single one of us, myself, Aiden, Marcos, and Alex, we all picked the Seahawks, and Aiden picked the Seahawks as his upset pick. So things aren't going well this morning for Aiden. Things aren't going well for us.
Geno Smith's finally making passes, though.
Yeah.
They're on the Bucs 22, but, man.
So that game's happening right now as we speak. We'll try and keep you updated as it progresses. All right, some injury notes to get to. Matthew Stafford of the Rams is unlikely to play today against the Cardinals, per ESPN. He's in concussion protocol. There's also skepticism, quote, that Kyler Murray and his hamstring will start today. So Kyler Murray is also a little bit banged up. Both teams play each other, Cardinals and Rams. So that is interesting right there to kind of keep tabs with if you're a fan of either of those teams or just simply for fantasy football purposes. Matthew Stafford is out. Kyler Murray likely to play, although he has a hurt hamstring. One of the big news items that happened this past week, the Colts fired their head coach, Frank Reich. Frank Reich is out as Indianapolis head coach. The Colts stumbled to a 3-5-1 record. Their offense was just straight up abysmal. They benched Matt Ryan. They're starting former Longhorn Sam Ehlinger. And things just weren't going good for the Colts. And that 26-3 loss to the Patriots on Sunday, it was their third straight defeat. It was the latest example of their offense just being absolutely poor. And owner Jim Irsay had enough and got rid of Frank Reich. That's not even the craziest part of the Indianapolis Colts. Even crazier is that they hired Jeff Saturday to be their interim head coach. Jeff Saturday was working as an ESPN analyst. At the time he was hired as head coach, he wasn't even on the staff. They didn't promote anybody from within. They just said, hey, Jeff, want to come coach up this team? And Jeff Saturday said, yeah. So Jeff Saturday is the first NFL head coach with no college or pro coaching experience since Norm Van Brocklin went from the 1960 NFL MVP with the Eagles to coach the Vikings the following year in 1961.
Yeah, so this move wasn't out of the norm.
I really,
that's a good one.
I really don't like this move for assistant coaches all around the league. I mean, everyone in that building just got completely skipped over. I know Jeff Saturday has a history with them as a player, but it's kind of a spit in the face to the assistant coaches that have been working their tail off behind Frank Reich, putting in the hours, putting in the time with his team. It's kind of expected that whenever a head coach gets fired, that at the very least, you bring someone up from within as your interim head coach. And you've seen a lot of guys get their shot as interim head coaches that have been great coaches in long term. Even Bruce Arians was the interim head coach for the Colts whenever Chuck Pagano got sick. And then he went to the Cardinals, and now he was with the Bucs, won a ring. Like, some all-time great coaches started out as interim coaches. And everyone in that building got completely skipped over for Jeff Saturday.
I agree with you. No, that's a fair take. I agree with you because I'm very skeptical of this Jeff Saturday hire. I know he's a legend with the organization, but he has literally no skins on the wall other than his playing career. And look, the playing career means a lot, right? Maybe the players do see, hey, this guy was a legend for this franchise. This guy was the center for Peyton Manning for the majority of his career. We get it. We understand that. But you're right. Skipping over coaches who have put in the work all offseason, who have been with the players day in and day out, it's just a crazy-ass move from Irsay to do that. And the Colts are in shambles, man. Yeah. This franchise is absolutely off the rails with this.
You know what, Marcos? That was a very lucid, intelligent, and well-thought-out point you made there.
Wow.
Overruled. Let me bring in my take now.
All right, Aiden, give us your take on the
Okay.
Jeff Saturday hire.
I think the Colts are I think they're tired of signing these older veteran quarterbacks to every year. I think Irsay had enough of it. And I think maybe he wants to tank and get Bryce Young or whatnot. But did you hear the press conference from Jeff Saturday? At first, I was all like, oh, this is done by the Colts. But I heard this press conference.
Before you get to the press conference, I want to just make a quick point on the Colts and their quarterback situation, right? Ever since they lost Andrew Luck, they have brought in nothing but spare retread quarterbacks, except for that 1 year
Phillip
with
Rivers.
Phillip Rivers.
You know what, though? I would argue that Carson Wentz with this team would be a lot better than Matt Ryan was. And with Matt Ryan, with that team that Carson Wentz was on, that they would have had a lot better because they had a better offensive line at that time. And Carson Wentz is a little bit more of an
also,
improviser
Jonathan
and a scrambler.
Taylor's getting he's
I
getting
think
beat up.
that you have to have consistency at the quarterback position in this league.
Well, it doesn't
you
hurt.
need to know how to build your
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a great mobile quarterback, you might be able to be a little bit more loose on the offensive line. If you have a guy that's a Tom Brady, you need a clean pocket, and you need to understand how to build your team. And they haven't had any consistency there since Andrew Luck left.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they brought in Jacoby Brissett. They brought in Phillip Rivers. They brought in Carson Wentz. They brought in Matt Ryan. 4 different starting quarterbacks in the last 4 years. There's no consistency.
They're trying to win now. But who knows? Maybe if you give Jacoby Brissett a shot right after Andrew Luck was, maybe they have some sort of consistency. Maybe they're a 500 team.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, good points right there, man.
But I just want to
go
play
ahead
this press conference so bad.
So Jeff Saturday did a press conference because he was hearing all the heat from the media saying he wasn't qualified, et cetera, et cetera. Here's Jeff Saturday kind of going in on media and everybody who's doubting him.
Here's the deal. Everybody talks about I'm completely comfortable in who I am as a man, bro. I know I can lead men. I know the game of football, and I'm passionate about it. I have no fear about, are you as qualified as somebody else, bro? I spent 14 years in a locker room. I went to the playoffs 12 times. I got 5 dudes in the Hall of Fame that I play with. You don't think I've seen greatness? You don't think I've seen how people prepare, how they coach, how they GM, how they work? I mean, won Super Bowls, been to 2. Like, here's the deal, man. None of us are promised a good job. I may be terrible at this. And after 8 games, I'll say, God bless you. I am no good. I may be really good at it. I got no idea. But I dang sure ain't going to back down. I can tell you that.
Okay, so a little passionate right there from Jeff Saturday. And look, give him credit for being passionate. I like it. It's all right. Maybe it's not cut out for him like you said.
Baby.
Maybe after 8 games he says, you know what, I'm done. Who knows?
I love that from him, and I can almost guarantee that he's a great leader of men. From the sounds of it, from that press conference, from his career being a center, that's a position of leadership. He is obviously a man of good leadership qualities, but that doesn't mean that he knows how to form a game plan and go out there and win a ball game with the game plan, with fundamental coaching.
Well, we'll see.
You know what I mean?
Who knows? Maybe the Colts go on a tear. I don't think they're gonna be as bad as people think. I think they'll be.
But what have they had going for them this year?
I mean, they're 3-4-1, right? So
3-5-1.
3-5-1. I don't think they're gonna be the worst team in the league to end the year.
Yeah. All right. Well, we shall see what happens with Jeff Saturday.
I mean, it's just. I don't think Irsay's gonna give him the head coaching job if he doesn't do a good job. I mean, it's just a half a year thing.
Yeah, it's just a little bit mind-boggling how he ended up in that position. I think that's what everybody is trying to make the point of. So there we go. Jeff Saturday, new interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Some more NFL headlines to get to. Josh Allen will be active today against the Vikings, so he will play despite his elbow injury. Josh Allen will play. Elbow injuries can be very tricky. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully nothing else happens with Josh Allen because obviously that would just derail the Bills' season if Josh Allen were to go down with some significant time lost. Another thing, Ryan Tannehill is expected to play today versus the Broncos Titans quarterback. We saw Malik Willis last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. Wasn't the best performance from the rookie. So Tannehill's back, quarterbacking the Tennessee Titans today. And a news note that came out earlier this week, Tom Brady has 0 regrets coming back to play football despite the Buccaneers' slow start. That is a Tom Brady quote from earlier this week, and I'm checking in on the game right now. Looks like there was a run to the right side, and the Buccaneers have the ball. They're across the 50, but
The Seahawks are selling. They can't stop the run.
it is currently Buccaneers 14, Seahawks 3, 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and the Bucs are across midfield looking to score once again. Yep, you're right. The Seahawks cannot stop the run, and it looks like Brady and the Bucs, they're on their way to being 5-5 and right back in a playoff.
They're going to
hunt.
win the division. I don't think this Bucs team's good enough to make it to Super Bowl, but it's just because you don't believe in the Falcons. The Saints are bad without Sean Payton as head coach, and then the Panthers are the Panthers.
You're right. So that's going to wrap up our NFL headlines discussion right there. Coming up next, it is time to preview Packers versus Cowboys. It is Scouting the Packers. Get your takes in right now. I am taking all your predictions on Cowboys versus Packers on the text line, 361-882-5397. We'll be right back. It's the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush. It is a Cowboys game day. 3:30 kickoff on these airwaves. News Talk KUIS with a 2:30 pregame show. Make sure you listen to that. Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg will be on the call for Cowboys and Packers. A big-time game today. A lot at stake. Let me get to some of the predictions on the text line. All right? So, Edward's in here. Edward says, Cowboys 35, Packers 17. That's Edward's prediction. Thank you for getting in, Edward. We appreciate you doing that. We have Aaron Ball in here. Aaron says Cowboys 34, Packers 21. We have Mario Herrera Jr. in here. Shout out to Mario. Shout out to everybody who's got in. Mario says Cowboys 28, Packers 13. Pollard goes over 100 yards again, and the Dallas defense gets 7 sacks. 7 sacks is predicted by Mario. Antonio Lopez is in here. Antonio says Cowboys 38, Green Bay 14. So Cowboys fans very confident this morning that the Cowboys will be able to not only beat the Packers, but crush the Packers in Green Bay. That is interesting. The Cowboys are a 4-point favorite as we speak with today's game at 3:30. All right. Thank you guys for getting in with your predictions and your takes. We appreciate y'all so much. Hit us up on the text line, 361-882-5397. for more of your predictions and more of your takes. All right, let's go ahead. It's officially time to scout Cowboys and Packers. Cowboys and Packers. The Cowboys are 6-2. Packers are 3-6. Packers coming off of an ugly loss to the Detroit Lions last week. Cowboys coming off of a bye. Cowboys have had 2 weeks to prepare for this game in Green Bay, and we talked about the storylines earlier this week. It's the return of Mike McCarthy to Lambeau Field, where he coached there for 12 years, where he was successful there, where he won a Super Bowl there. Second longest tenured head coach in Green Bay Packer history. First, Curly Lambeau, the guy who they named the damn stadium after. So Mike McCarthy coming back home, and it's been an emotional week for him. I want to play this audio, Aiden. Mike McCarthy was asked what it means to return to Green Bay, and Mike McCarthy got very emotional earlier this week. I want you to listen to Mike McCarthy and his thoughts on returning to Green Bay.
What I miss most? Yeah. Oh, shoot. I think it's like anything, the people. And that's why I think it's been such a great transition for our family, because our kids, were obviously born there, raised there, but to come here in this experience, because the lifestyle in Dallas, Texas is incredible. This has been an incredible opportunity for us as a family. But, Jessica was born there, kids were born there. So, people, miss the people.
Mike McCarthy emotional about the return to Green Bay, and that's why I feel that this morning, later on this afternoon, that the Cowboys are going to play for their coach today. There's a lot on the line today, not just for the Cowboys to get a win, not just for the Cowboys to keep this thing going, not just for the Cowboys to go to 7-2. they want to play for their head coach. They love their head coach. And you heard it right there. Mike McCarthy, very emotional heading into this matchup against Green Bay.
And I'm going to say it, man. I feel like there was a lot of heat on Mike McCarthy and whatnot, and there's some Cowboys fans out there thinking he's not a good enough head coach. I still believe so. I've been saying that since even the 2020 year with the bad defense. I feel like he's the guy that should ride the ship. Forget about Sean Payton I've always been a Mike McCarthy fan. I'm glad that he's getting his due.
You know what's also interesting about Mike McCarthy and these Cowboys fans who think he's not a good coach, and they're completely wrong about that? Since the start of the 2021 season, Mike McCarthy has led the Cowboys to 18 wins, 7 losses, and guess what that 18 wins is good for? That's tied in the NFL for the most wins since 2021. Mike McCarthy knows how to coach some damn football, and he's a good head football coach. So just some numbers here, all right? The Dallas offensive line has allowed 78 pressures in 2022. That's the 3rd fewest in the NFL behind Carolina and Tampa Bay. Parsons, guys, has 4 multi-sack games this season, and he's tied with Charles Haley and DeMarcus Ware for the most multi-sack performances through the first 8 games of a Cowboy season. Michael Parsons is going off this year. All right, and he's going to be a problem today for this Green Bay Packers offensive line. Tony Pollard might get a lot of snaps today because Zeke is still questionable with that knee injury. Tony Pollard's 5 rushes of 25-plus yards this season are tied for 2nd in the league, trailing only Travis Etienne of the Jaguars. Tony Pollard is an explosive running back who needs absolutely more carries. He is a playmaker. We saw it last week, or 2 weeks ago, Marcos, when they played the Bears and how he was able to run up and down on them. I need the Cowboys to feature Tony Pollard a lot more today because, look, that Green Bay defense, they are pretty good, but they are injured. A lot of injuries on that front with the Green Bay Packer defense. Aiden, what are your thoughts on the game, on the matchup? What are you looking to see out of Green Bay? What are you looking to see out of Dallas?
Honestly, I'm expecting a top-notch performance from the Cowboys, and especially the defense, because they got pushed around by the Bears front. Let's be real, they did.
Yeah,
it's a fact.
The rushing,
they did not look good at all. They did not
look
good at all. If it wasn't for that weird play with fumbles not touching Micah Parsons, there might have been a closer game at the finish. And I think the Cowboys defense, I know Dan Quinn's going to fire up his guys and find a game plan because this Packers offense has not looked the part. And honestly, man, it might look ugly. It might be one of the low points of Aaron Rodgers' career, I feel like, today. When Cowboys fans, whenever they're boisterous about their team, I raise my expectations of what this team could be too. So I'm expecting a top-notch defensive performance.
Marcos, your thoughts on Cowboys-Packers?
I really like this Packers team. I truthfully do, but not like the quality. I would say I'm more a fan of them than actual a supporter because they have had so many struggles this year. I enjoy the Packers and I enjoy their history, and I think if you're a true NFL fan, then you have to respect that.
Of course.
But this team is different than past Packers teams. It's almost been like Packers teams of the past have been dominant on offense, and Aaron Rodgers and that offense have absolutely carried them, and their defense has been atrocious, and it's just Aaron Rodgers, let's go get us a win. This team is different. They have almost no weapons on offense besides Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones. I think even Romeo Doubs is out for this game, who was kind of their...
Lazar's banged up?
Yeah, they're 2 quote-unquote wide receiver ones are both out or banged up at the very least. And this defense has had to carry. And in this modern NFL, if you don't have an elite defense, which the Packers... I don't think that they have a top 5 defense in the NFL. I don't think that their offense can carry them to anywhere near what they would need. The Cowboys defense has been dominant and the offense has done enough. That is not the case with the Packers.
So the Packers defense, looking at the injury report, Devondre Campbell, linebacker's out. Shamar Jean-Charles, cornerback, is out. Chris Barnes, linebackers, doubtful. Eric Stokes, cornerbacks, on injured reserve. And Tipa Galay, linebacker, on injured reserve also. They're banged up on defense It is bad. The Packers' offense is only averaging 17 points a game.
I'm expecting Dak loves feasting on them bad teams, man. No, man, it's like
But they do have a
Thanksgiving
good
for him.
defense.
Yummy, yummy, yummy,
They
yummy.
have a good defense. They're just really banged up.
I expect Dak. I don't care. 300 yards, 2 TDs around there. I'm expecting a top-notch Dak performance, like those bad teams that like you do. Dak.
I'm actually not expecting a top-tier Dak performance.
I'm already gonna make my prediction. I'm gonna go Cowboys 35, Packers 17 or 14.
Cowboys. So you're going Cowboys 35-14. That is Aiden's prediction. What's your prediction, Marcos?
I got Cowboys 27, Packers 17.
Okay, I think that's pretty fair right there. I'll go ahead and give my prediction. Packers are so banged up. Aaron Rodgers hasn't looked good, but you still got to respect the boogeyman.
Yeah.
And he's been the boogeyman in the Cowboys side all his career. Every single time the Cowboys have faced him, as long as they got 12 back there taking snaps, they have a chance to win. This is a big get the monkey off your back game for the Cowboys. It's a big emotional return for Mike McCarthy, etc. The Cowboys are first in the league in sacks. They're first in offensive red zone scoring. They're tied for second in touchdowns allowed. They've only given up 12 touchdowns all year long, and their +6 turnover differential is tied for third in the NFL. I think the Cowboys have a defensive dominating performance today. I think Aaron Rodgers is on his back at least 3 to 4 times today.
More.
Probably throws an interception. I'm going to say Dak Prescott has a couple of touchdown passes and Tony Pollard scores a touchdown. Give me the Dallas Cowboys 28, Green Bay 14.
I don't know what the over-under is for the sacks, Green Bay sacks, but I guarantee you that it's over.
All righty. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more Cowboys, Packers. We'll get your predictions. Hit us up on the text line, 361-882-5397. Let us know who wins, Cowboys or Packers. When we return, we make some NFL picks with Alex Weister. Keep it locked. It's the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush. It's episode number 95. James Espinosa, Aiden Ducker, and Marcos Matakin with you till 11 a.m. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll talk some Texas high school football playoffs. Round 1 is in the books. We'll take a look at who won, who lost, and our thoughts on the area teams going forward into round number 2. Shout out to Nucky's Cocktail Bar, 1406 North 14th Street in Kingsville, Texas. It's your game day spot today. Happy hour all day long to enjoy Week 10 of the NFL season. You can watch Cowboys and Packers on their multiple flat screen TVs that they have in their beautiful setup. Freshest handcrafted cocktails you'll ever have. Ask for the old-fashioned, absolutely delightful craft beer, domestics on draft. Hit them up. It's Nucky's Cocktail Bar, 1406 North 14th Street in Kingsville, Texas, and let them know that the Sunday Sports Rush sent you.
Yeah.
We got a text in real quick before we get to Alex, who's on the 1440 Keys hotline. I got a text in right now from Andy Smith, who is the Gregory Portland offensive line coach, and he's also my coworker. Coach Smith says, I'm listening to you guys live this morning. Y'all are on fire. So shout out to Coach Smith. Appreciate you listening, sir.
Appreciate it, Coach Smith.
Yeah, hopefully he liked that. I'm vouching for the teachers to get paid more.
Yeah.
So.
I think you like that
Yeah.
one. But he said we're on fire this morning. So thanks, Coach, for listening, and we appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow in class. So there we go.
Yeah, I just had a little
Big claps for Coach listening.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you, Coach.
Where's it at?
Coach, we need to get you on the air, Coach. We need to
Get him
you
in the
on
studio.
air. We
Come
need to
on
get you
down.
on the air. We'd love to have you on, Coach. So there we go. That was awesome right there. Good to know.
I had a little off-air rant to Alex about Tom Brady.
You did.
We heard you.
You're a,
Not safe for work.
I'm gonna listening audience right now. He was going off on Tom Brady, saying that Tom Brady needs to feel pain and Tom Brady needs to.
Let me just say my
this.
quick point. You would think a man would be heartbroken losing his family, but not Aaron Rodgers and not Tom Brady in this case. So
Oh man, your hate for Tom is like any other. Let's bring on Alex onto the text line. Onto the phone line. He's waited long enough. Alex Weister, good morning.
I just watched Quandre Diggs get stiff-armed into oblivion.
What's going on? What the hell's happening with Bucks and Seahawks right now, man? I know you're watching intently. I'm kind of watching afar. I got a window open on my computer, but what's happening? Are the Seahawks just flat out selling?
Yeah, I would say so. It's definitely been an interesting game. There was a penalty early on where DK was kind of talking to the ref, and then the ref threw a flag. It was like a taunting penalty on the referee, which was kind of odd.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, Alex,
goodness.
I started Geno Smith this week. How am I doing?
I don't think very well. He just had a fumble.
Not going good, guys. Not going good. So we're going to pick some NFL games. The records going into this week for Week 10 are as follows.
Oh, gosh.
I'm in first place, baby. I went 7-2 last week, and I nailed my upset pick of the Seahawks, so I got 40 wins on the season. Aiden is in second place. Aiden went 3-4 last week, no upset. Aiden has 38 wins. Alex, you're in third place. You went 6-3 last week. You nailed your Jaguars upset pick, so you made up some ground. You have 37 wins, Alex. So you're 3 games back of me, 1 game back of Aiden. Marcos is 21-18. 4-3 last week, no upsets. But Marcos, you joined us kind of late, so it's all right. I mean, it's all good. You're doing a good job. Let's pick some games. Okay, so we all picked Seahawks before the show started. It's not going well for us so far.
Yeah, they're selling, and I picked them as my upset too.
Ooh.
They're just flat out selling, man. And the Bucs are trying to give this game to them with that stupid Leonard Fournette pass to a 45-year-old Tom Brady against the best Seahawks DB. But Geno Smith is reverting back to Jets Geno, so it is what it is.
Not good. Okay, so Alex, we already picked Cowboys and Packers in the previous segment. All of us picked Cowboys. What's your take on Cowboys and Packers? The Cowboys are a 3.5-point favorite as of this morning.
I feel like every week I say it's going to be the week the Packers get right, but when you look at their matchup, I cannot see them having a get-right game against the Cowboys. The Cowboys' defense is playing phenomenal this year. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to struggle again, and the Cowboys get the win.
There we go. All right, so it's a clean sweep. All of us are picking Cowboys. If you still want to get your text in on the text line, hit us up, 361-882-5397. Get your Cowboys and Packers picks in before the show ends. Moving on, Vikings 7-1. At the Bills, 6-2. This is the marquee matchup of the day. The Bills are favored by 6.5 points, and it was just announced that Josh Allen is active, and he will play despite his elbow injury. I'm going to go ahead and kick this one to Alex. Alex, who do you got?
I think this is going to come down to home field advantage, but if I was a betting man, I would definitely bet the Vikings on that. 6.5 for the Bills coming into this game is pretty high for going against such a good team in the Vikings, but I will end up taking the Bills in this one.
All righty. Go ahead, Marcos. Who do you got?
I got the Bills. I really like this Vikings team. I love their offense. They have so many explosive people out there. But this Bills team is right now, I think they're the favorite to win the Super Bowl. So,
all right.
Bills.
Aiden, who do you got? Vikings or Bills?
You know what? I had the Bills as the number 1 seed AFC, and they have to beat the Vikings. I'm sorry, but the Vikings celebrated beating a mediocre Commanders team like they just won the Super Bowl in that plane. That Kirk Cousins video, no drip whatsoever. I was not impressed by the tomfoolery that inspired. It's a bunch of chicanery, as the late great Chuck McGill says. So
shout out
Chuck McGill, yeah. So give me the Bills by 2 touchdowns.
Oh my God!
Wow, all of y'all guys are going Bills, and I appreciate Aiden using his 1930s vocabulary right there. That was awesome. He sounded like 1930s reporter guy. Come on, champ. Come on, chicanery. All right. Anyways, look, I'm gonna do something crazy here. I didn't like the way the Bills looked last week against the Jets. I saw a lot of flaws. I saw Josh Allen didn't play too well. Of course, he got a little bit injured, banged up. I still think that elbow might play a factor into today's game. Give me the Vikings as my upset special today. I'm going Vikings. I think the Vikings are a legitimate team, and I think they're going to win today in Buffalo. Close game.
I do think that this game should definitely be on primetime.
Yeah, that would have been a good flex game.
I think, in my opinion,
I will say that I don't take division games into account what happens previously, because division games, you never know what happens. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah, okay. I feel you. Next game up should not be on primetime. Probably shouldn't even be played. It's the 2-6 Lions at the 3-6 Bears. The Bears are 3-point favorites at home. Lions at Bears. Oh, my. What do we got, Alex?
That was good, Jay. That was actual legit good one.
Thank you.
Justin Fields has looked really, really good. Yeah. Not necessarily passing the ball in the past few weeks, but running, he has just been amazing. And I don't think the Lions are going to be prepared enough to stop that Chicago offense, so I'm going to take the Bears.
Aiden, who do you got, Bears or Lions?
Give give me the Bears because I feel like Justin Fields is finally starting to figure it out.
I do love the way Justin Fields has played these past few weeks, man. Ever since that Patriots game on Monday night, we're starting to see Fields find his own. He's using his legs a little bit more. It seems like the offense is kind of being tailored to his skill set more than it ever was with Matt Nagy as head coach. I really love the Bears. I'm going to go ahead and pick Bears as well. I like what I'm seeing out of Justin Fields. Go ahead, Marcos.
Give me the Bears.
The Bears.
Bears.
So it's a clean sweep.
Yeah, and the Lions can't stop a nosebleed in terms of the run game.
Yeah.
The Bears have one of the best.
I think Justin Fields is finally took in within himself, I don't have to be a pocket passer.
He just needs
I don't actually have to throw the ball because he's such an athlete.
He can utilize it. The things that made him great at Ohio State was throwing on the run, utilizing his legs, and being a playmaker, and I like to see that. Next up, it is Alex's Saints at the 2-6 Steelers. Saints are 3-6. Steelers are 2-6. Wow, this one is actually even. It's even.
I was just going to update on that. Yes, the line has just recently moved to even.
So it is a coin flip. Who do you got, Alex? Saints or Steelers?
I mean, both teams are just absolutely beat up as all could be. I mean, every single good player you can imagine on the Saints is pretty much hurt besides Kamara. It's such a brutal game. I still think we'll find a way to win this somehow, but it's going to be a brutal game to watch.
So you got Saints. You're going with your guys.
Yes, I am.
All right. I cannot wait for you to be hitting up the group chat complaining about what the Saints are doing. That's one of my highlights every week.
Well, Dennis Allen's a fraud.
Okay. Marcos, who do you got? Saints, Steelers.
So
it's even. There's
even
no
now?
favorites.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
no
tough.
favorite.
Yeah, it sucks for you.
TJ Watt's back. He's whenever he's healthy, he's the most dominant defensive player in football. Arguably with Micah Parsons.
Okay.
Might I add? But I like the Steelers mainly because TJ Watt's back.
All righty, Aiden.
With the Commanders playing, I believe, the Eagles, I had to drop them, and the Steelers with TJ Watt playing are a sack machine.
TJ Watt.
He completely changes everything.
And let's be real. Mike Tomlin's a way better coach than Dennis Allen. And I just feel like with a stalemate like this, prediction-wise, I think the Steelers are going to come out top and win this game.
And they're at home. It's kind of a crazy
They're at home.
atmosphere.
They play better at home this year. So give me the Steelers.
I would just like to say, y'all talking so high on TJ Watt, Ryan Ramczyk would like to have a word with you.
Ooh.
That man is one of the greatest tackles in the league right now.
It's not gonna matter.
TJ moves around a lot.
Yeah, they're gonna stunt TJ Watt. They're gonna find ways. Ramczyk's not gonna do a damn thing on TJ Watt.
Wow, Alex.
And this is a Ravens fan.
You can think that if you want.
This is a Ravens fan.
You can just watch the game.
2 sacks. He's gonna get 2 sacks.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead.
You are out of your mind.
They're gonna move him. They're gonna move him around. Okay.
You are out of your mind.
I'm gonna go ahead.
I will buy you a Happy Meal or whatever you call it if TJ Watt doesn't get a sack.
I don't want no pity prize from you, homie.
Wow. It's getting contentious and pick 'em. I love it. Okay. I'm going to interrupt y'all's argument and then make a pick so we can move on. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, man, I really love the Saints. I feel you, Alex.
You love the Saints? Wow.
Yeah, I kind of cheer for the Saints because of Alex by proxy.
I don't even love the Saints.
But I'm going to go Steel Curtain. Give me Steelers at home. That's tough. All right, next one up. The Cardinals are 3-6. They're at the Rams, who are 3-5. Matthew Stafford is not going to play today, but Kyler Murray's also hampered with a hamstring injury.
He's not going to play.
Is he not going to play, or is he
unlikely.
questionable?
It says he's unlikely.
Okay, so they both might not play. This might be a battle of backup quarterbacks here. The Rams are still favored by 3 points. Who wins? Cardinals, Rams, Alex.
Well, this is just going to come down to which team has the better talent than if the starting quarterbacks are both out. And in that case, I'm going to go with the Rams.
Okay, let's go ahead, Aiden.
Give me the Rams. It's going to be an epic mid-off, I feel like.
Yeah, this one definitely has mid-off of the day vibes. Like, seriously.
But in terms of, the roster, I still think the Rams have a better roster overall.
Yeah, I don't trust Cliff. I don't trust Kyler, even if he is playing. I know they've looked a little bit better as of late, but a little bit better doesn't necessarily mean I'm confident.
All I know is Cardinals, you better have Sean Payton on dial 1.
Oh,
just saying.
Interesting.
I think there's smoke there.
I'm going with the Rams. Who do you got, Marcos?
I got the Rams too.
All right.
I was gonna take them if Kyler was healthy, but Yeah, it's not
Okay.
likely that he's going to go.
So Rams clean sweep. Next one up, you got the Jeff Saturday-led Colts, 3-5-1 at the Las Vegas Raiders, who are 2-6. The Raiders are -4 favorites at home.
I want to go first. I should have probably made this my upset.
No,
pick.
you already.
I know it's already lost, but the Raiders are so bad, and Josh McDaniels is such a bad head coach. Unlikable. Probably couldn't motivate a dying man of
didn't
thirst
he
to
get
water.
fired?
You know. Did you hear what I said?
Yes,
I
heard
said
what you
Josh
said.
McDaniels couldn't motivate a dying man of thirst into water.
You know the joke's not funny the second time you have to say it.
I know.
Right?
Well, Marcos interrupted me. So it's
I'm
Marcos'
just
fault.
saying, anytime a comedian has to retell a joke, it's usually crickets. All right, so who do you got?
Give me the Colts. The
Okay.
Raiders are bad, and I like seeing them bad.
All righty, so you're going Colts.
And Marcus, don't interrupt me ever again.
Alex,
I'm
who
just
do you
kidding.
got?
I don't think he picked as his upset pick, so I'm taking the Colts as my upset pick. I'm riding with Jeff Saturday. I love that team now.
Oh, my goodness. So you're on the Saturday bandwagon. Did his little speech get you all hyped up and ready to run through a wall?
Well, it's not only that, but when you look at the stats, whenever a coach is fired and the interim comes in, teams tend to play a lot better in the next few games.
And I told this to James before the show started. Me and you, Alex, have played football. We've had coaches that are like this.
Taking shots at the guy who only played middle school football.
We played in high school, but we're saying like we know coaches like this who know how to motivate their players, right? So we felt that press conference at a deeper level.
Sorry,
James has no heart.
Wow.
Marcos, are you on the Jeff Saturday bandwagon? Let's hear from your prediction.
Marcos, who do you got?
I got the Colts, but I'm definitely not on the Jeff Saturday bandwagon
You
yet.
see, another guy that didn't get
Listen.
motivated by coaches like we
up,
do.
Listen up. I was the starting left guard on the middle school B team. I have some skins on the wall, all right? At least I can say that. Give me the Raiders, baby. I think the Raiders offense is going to go off in Vegas. I need them to go off for fantasy purposes. I'm rooting with my heart right here. Give me the Raiders. Last game to pick, all right? Last game to pick right here. Well, yeah, this one's the last one. Broncos at Titans. Is this
This is Titans.
This is also a mid-off. Broncos are
No, the Titans are better than the Broncos significantly.
Broncos are 3-5
Yeah.
at the Titans. Titans are 5-3. Tannehill is going to start today, but the Titans are only 2.5-point favorites. That's the only reason why I put this game on here, because the spread was so close. I would have put Chargers at 49ers, but the Niners are like 7.5-point favorites.
Broncos, let's ride. What a joke.
So you're going Broncos. Who do you got, Alex?
I'm taking the Titans.
Oh, okay. Who do you got, Marcos?
Give me the Titans, and I'm going to take my upset as the Chargers tonight against the Niners.
Okay, cool. That's a good upset pick. So Chargers for Marcos over the Niners as his upset. I'm going to go with the corniest MFer out there in football. Broncos country. Let's ride.
way.
I feel like I'm going to eat a danger witch today, baby.
The Broncos are equivalent of somebody playing the game Oregon Trail. You're going to get a bunch of stuff that's going to happen. So you pick them
What
to
a
your
wild comparison.
pick them to your own peril, James.
I'm going to pick the Broncos. I thought you picked the Broncos also.
No, I'm not picking the Broncos.
Oh, so you're going Titans.
Yes.
Okay, so all right. Well, there we go. That's going to wrap up our pick'em. That might have been one of the most fun pick'ems we've ever had. Jokes abound, clowning on each other, mid-arguments between the segments and during the segment. Absolutely love it. Alex, I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, my guy.
For sure, y'all too.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later on. There goes Alex Weister. That was our NFL pick'em. Get your final Cowboys and Packers predictions in here. We got one more segment left. Let's talk some Texas high school football playoffs. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush News Talk KEYS. Last segment with you. It's Dallas Cowboys game day, getting you hyped up for Cowboys and Packers at 3:30. 2:30 pregame starts right here on Keys with 3:30 kickoff on Keys as well. Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg will be on the call. We are the Dallas Cowboys station here in the Coastal Bend, so we would appreciate you guys if you tuned in and gave us a listen. All right, that was a fun pick'em. Really enjoyed that segment. Loved it. Loved the hijinks. Loved the chemistry between us. That was good stuff, fellas. Great work all around. Let's get to some final Cowboys predictions here. Keith is in here. Keith says, Cowboys win 21-10. The Packers finally bench Rodgers.
No.
That's a hot take.
No.
Especially with how since Jordan Love's considered like a bust at this point, he hasn't done anything at all. Is he still even the Packers backup?
He is the backup, yes.
Is this Keith that sent this text?
Yes.
Keith, I'm sorry. Thank you for texting in. We appreciate you listening, but you're wrong.
There we go. Nice. I like that.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to get benched.
I don't think he'll get benched. Michael's in here. Michael says 35-3 Cowboys. Cowboys fans are very confident this morning, man. Adrian Lada's in here. Adrian says Cowboys by 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
A lot of confident Cowboys games today. Cowboys fans, I should say today. Justin Merrill's here on the text line. Shout out to Justin, 361-882-5397. Justin says the Packers defense is going to look great today because Prescott's going to throw the ball directly to them. Packers 27, Cowboys 9, all 3 field goals for the Cowboys. Justin, stop. Justin, I love you, Justin. I love the fact that you're carrying on this bit. I get it. You hate Dak.
Well, what is this prediction again?
He said Packers 27, Cowboys 9. The Cowboys will get 3 field goals.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate the homerism, though.
I appreciate, Justin's a heel. Like, I respect that as well because I'm a heel.
Yeah. I get it. But shout out to Justin for getting in this morning. 361-882-5397. Let's go over some Texas high school football scores.
Oh, wait. Hold on. That was for Justin.
Oh, there we go. Yes, we don't want our high schoolers smoking pot. So there we go. Texas high school football. Let's go over some playoff scores. In Class 5A D1, Veterans Memorial 70, Medina Valley 14. Veterans Memorial moves on. They're going to be facing Edinburgh Vela in the next round. Miller 70, San Antonio Southwest Legacy 34. Miller will be facing PSJA North in the second round. Both 2 tough matchups coming up.
Yeah, you thought, Miller and Vets, I think they're going to make it to the third round.
Yeah.
I think they're going to meet. Would they meet each other
They'll
again?
meet each other in the regional final if they should both get to the 4th round.
I would like to see that.
That'd be cool.
I felt like Miller controlled that game earlier on in the season, and they let it slip away. So I would like to see what will happen in a rematch.
Flower Bluff defeats Roma in 5A D2 56-21. Flower Bluff will now be moving on to face Lockhart up in San Antonio next week. Shout out to the Bluff. I know that's Marcos's guys right there.
They had like an hour and a half lightning delay.
Yeah, they did on Friday night. A lot of big weather here this weekend. Gregory Portland, we're the home of the Wildcats. Gregory Portland 64, Mission Veterans Memorial 6. Myself, Marcos Matakin, and Vito Duran were on the call for that game. We had fun, didn't we, Marcos?
Yeah, it was a good one. I love calling those games. Shout out the MIC Sports Network, and you can listen here on Keys Thursday at 7 o'clock, correct?
Yeah, Thursday 7
Wow,
Look
nice
at that.
plug.
He's turning into a professional before our very eyes. I love it. That was a good plug. Yeah, we will be broadcasting GP versus Alamo Heights, as Marcos just mentioned, 7 p.m. Thursday night in Cuero. We will be there. We will be there for that round 2 matchup, and that's a tough round 2 matchup. I know I'm a GP Wildcat. I know a ton of coaches. I know the players. I work for them. But Alamo Heights is nobody to shake a stick at. They are number 7 in the state.
Yeah, they're one of San Antonio's premier programs,
Yeah. So it's going to be a tough game right there. But, hey, we'll see what happens. We'll be broadcasting that one, and go Wildcats. Cowallan 30, Beeville 6. Cowallan took care of Beeville pretty handily. And what might be the upset of the week right here, Port Lavaca Calhoun 35, Alice 26. Alice is one and done. That is kind of a crazy upset because we got to see Port Lavaca live in person, Marcos and Doug and I, and they didn't look it at the beginning of the year, but they rambled off 4 straight wins to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now they win their first round playoff matchup. Impressive.
I remember telling you, I was like, after the game, I was like, this team has a lot of potential. They have some athletes out there. They have some guys that could put the team on their back and make a lot of big plays. And I wouldn't be surprised if they make a little bit of noise.
That was a big upset. Did you have something to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to shout out to my guys at Bishop. Coach Rigo Morales, he was my track coach at Carroll, and was called upon to be the head coach for Bishop this year. Led Bishop to their first playoff win since 1998.
Wow.
2 of my buddies that I played with football with. Hunter Bowers is the offensive coordinator, and Josh Wilson, who I also played with, is the defensive coordinator.
Wow. So 2 of your guys who you actually played with are doing their thing. That is awesome, man.
They handily beat a West Elsa team that beat them earlier in the season.
And you know what? I have a cousin who plays for Bishop, matter of fact, and I'm pretty proud of the Badgers, man. Bishop Badgers doing their thing. Sinton beats La Grulla 49-7. Orange Grove beats Raymondville 35-21, and Ingleside is eliminated by Port Isabel 28-13. So the Mustang season is done. London defeats San Diego 28-6. Vanderbilt Industrial 49, Falfurrias 13. Taft beats Comfort 38-14. Good win by the Greyhounds. Hebronville beats Natalia 40-14, and Poth beats George West 67-0. Refugio won their first round matchup against Ben Bolt 66-14. Three Rivers won against Freer 62-19, and Agua Dulce and both Woodsboro lost in their first round matchups. That pretty much covers the whole slate right there of what happened in week 1. So the big matchups coming up: Miller versus PSJA North. That's happening Thursday at Cabinus, and Vets versus Edinburgh Vela Thursday at Buck. GP at Alamo Heights Thursday at Cuero, and Flower Bluff and Lockhart Friday at San Antonio's Alamo Stadium. Calallen plays San Antonio Davenport on Friday as well in Victoria. So there we go. Those are some of the big matchups coming up in the area. All right, guys, good stuff.
Another solid show. I was extra heel today.
You were working very heel, but I appreciate that. We need a nice heel on this program.
I feel like I wasn't a solid enough heel the past few months. I had to bring it all back for today.
You brought it. Marcos, great job, man. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So Alex Weister, shout out to him for getting in on the text line and on the phone line. Shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to our sponsor, Nuckies. And that's going to wrap up the show, guys. We will talk to you next weekend. Hope y'all have a great Sunday. Cowboys and Packers, 3:30 right here on the station, 2:30 pregame. Let's go, Cowboys. No more questions. We'll talk to you next week.